All right, the time is now 6:01 p.m. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Ms. Perry, can you please call the roll?
Mayor Stephanie Dalton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Holly Berry.
Here.
Commissioner Jamie Fairbanks Harvey.
Here.
Commissioner Terry Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Hayes Wilkinson.
I'm here.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. For today's invocation, please join me in a moment of silence to reverently collect our thoughts, pray, and ready ourselves for this meeting and the duties to which we have been called. Okay, thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Granum, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have a presentation. Item A, thank you to citizen Larry Miller for updating Red Bank's Wikipedia page.
I'm supposed to have it pulled up on my phone and I
Okay.
didn't, so I will just wing it slightly. All of you signed it. It's very nice, and I signed it. It's got one of those certificates of appreciation with 6 signatures, which makes it very unique on the planet. Thanking Larry Miller for the Wikipedia page is not a part of the city corporately. It's not our business, but it was nonetheless very outdated. And so Larry took it upon himself to get certified in the halls of Wikipedia. Not anybody can tinker with it. You have to go through some process, and he did, and he updated it with fresh photos and the correct address for City Hall and fresh names of all the department directors and commissioners. And so it's just telling him thank you for being a great citizen, refreshing the Wikipedia page that ostensibly represents the city of Red Bank.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Miller, who's not here with us tonight, but we appreciate your efforts. And then we have item B, presentation of timeline for fiscal year 26 budget development.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. In a former strategy, this was a budget item where we bring it into commission and just note it. This is available on the website, and this is really the second document in our accumulation of documents that talk about the budget. The first one was the comptroller's memo, and then this memo operationalizes the comptroller's memo, establishes the budget dates. We will once again offer a budget certificate. We're going to make it a little easier. Only had 2 meetings. We've skinnied it down to just 2 extra meetings where we're using the established commission schedule a little bit more, dedicating it towards the budget process. So it will kick off on Tuesday the 15th, which is a regular commission meeting. We'll have Budget 101, which is just, we'll go over the current year budget and refresh everybody what the budget actually looks like. And then on Tuesday the 22nd is their first additional commission meeting. We're calling that Budget Workshop 1 from 5 to 7:30. Basically, it'll be police, fire, and court. We'll present citizen comments at the end. Tuesday the 29th, Budget Workshop number 2, again from 5 to 7:30. Public Works, Community Development, and City Hall, essentially, and citizen comment. Then on Tuesday the 6th of May, during the normal work session, it'll just be open discussion amongst the commission on how, the process so far has informed your thinking. Then we're planning for the first reading on Tuesday the 20th of May at our regular scheduled meeting, and the second reading is scheduled for Tuesday the 3rd of June, which is a regular scheduled meeting. That puts us completing it a little earlier than we did last year and well in advance of the state comptroller's guideline to have it done before the new fiscal year starts. Thank you, Mayor, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Granum. Did you say this was available on the website?
Yes, it is. It's posted under the Administration and Finance, which is Tracy's world, and then there's a finance tab on the left side. Says finance. You click there. And there's a wealth of information under that finance tab. There's all our past audit reports, all our past budgets. And new this year, we're sort of building the FY26 budget. So the comptroller's memo is there. There's a direct link to it. And now there's a direct link to this.
Okay.
Over time, there will be direct links to the chief of police's memo, the director of public works memo. So you won't have to scan through what became a 72-page PDF document. You'll be able to go directly to the information you want, whether it's to, community development or fire or whatever.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Cranmer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving on to my mayor's report. If you'll bear with me, I have quite a few things actually to talk about with our schools today, just some really exciting recognitions. But first, our new ADA restroom facility located outside of the Red Bank Community Center is now officially open. We just had a ribbon cutting today. And I want to give huge thanks to our staff and to the Red Bank and Saudi Daisy Charitable Foundation for making this possible. It's going to help improve that space quite a bit. And we are still waiting for some installation of another accessibility piece to the bathroom. But it is usable at this point in time. We had our first S'mores and Sounds event last Friday. It was a perfect evening with neighbors and friends. Many thanks to our Red Bank Fire Department for manning the fire pits and keeping us all safe when it was very, very windy outside. Thank you to the Briars for playing, the Culturalicious food truck for joining us at the last minute, and to our Parks and Rec staff, Jeffrey and Tegan, for making this happen. Hope to see you all at our next S'mores and Sounds on March 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then from our local schools, I wanted to say congratulations to the Alpine Crest Elementary and Red Bank Middle School Beta Clubs on their recent competition wins at the Beta Leadership Summit in Gatlinburg. They won awards in every category they competed in, which qualifies them to compete at nationals in Florida this summer. Big congratulations to Miss Carrie Stidham, who teaches 4th grade at Alpine Crest, on being chosen for a Coolidge National Medal of Honor Heritage Center's 2025 Teacher Fellows Cohort Program, as well as Miss Emily Moore, who teaches eLab at Red Bank Elementary, who was also chosen for that cohort. Congratulations to Red Bank Elementary on being chosen as one of 11 schools nationwide to participate in the National Center for Community Schools leadership program. As part of this cohort, they will meet throughout the year to learn and implement best practices within the community school framework. And at the end of the year-long community of practice, they will contribute to a national case study that will be published to support new and developing community schools. Huge congratulations to Miss Sally Warm, 1st grade teacher at Red Bank Elementary, on her recent recognition as Hamilton County Schools Teacher of the Year. We've got some amazing educators in our Red Bank schools. And finally, it was an extreme honor to attend the Hamilton County Schools School Resource Development Institute's inaugural school pitch event last week. So I could cheer on our Red Bank Middle School staff, who have worked so hard this past year on planning and designing their school-wide conservation initiative. And at the end of it all, they were awarded a $10,000 grant to launch this initiative. They're looking for donations to help support the continuation of the initiative over the next several years. And they're also looking for guest speakers and field experience partners in the areas of conservation. So if you are someone or know someone, please reach out if you can help in any way. And that's it for me. Our schools are amazing. Next, we have Vice Mayor Berry's report.
I will ditto what the mayor said, and congratulations to our Public Works team for kicking off or our community development and Parks and Rec, community development, Public Works. They all work together. And our fire department to kick off our S'mores and Sounds community events for this season. It was a big hit, and thank you to all the residents who came out and attended. We wouldn't keep doing these events if people didn't come, and it was an incredible turnout and a beautiful day with neighbors. And as well, congratulations to the Public Works team for completing the community center bathroom. That's going to be a huge asset to us in the coming years. And I got to go in and tour the inside as well, which is beautifully air conditioned. They have a water bottle fill station on the outside. It's going to be a great addition to our facilities there. So well done. And the next Red Bank Community Food Pantry is this Thursday, March 20th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Red Bank United Methodist. You can go there if you need food. They also are always looking for donations and volunteers if you feel so inclined. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next, we have a report from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here for this evening's meeting. Congratulations to Mr. Bob Ryan for his recognition with a Quilt of Valor for his courageous service in the Vietnam War. A Quilt of Valor, or QOV, is a quality handmade quilt that is machine or handmade quilted, and they have numerous folks who create these for saying thank you for your service and sacrifice in serving our nation. For more information about this distinguished honor, you can go to the website, Quilt of Valor. And the next Listen and Learn will be Monday, April 21st at Sabor from 6 to 7. Had a good turnout last night and good conversation. So the next one will be in April. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have our report from Commissioner Holmes.
Good evening. Thank you for coming. My report is similar. Thank you for coming out to S'mores and Sounds. It was really enjoyable. Me and my daughter attended and had a s'more, and it was a delight. And I was happy to see people getting out. It was a cool evening. It did get a little cool. Please join us, like they said before, for March 28th from 6 to 8. And again, continue to check out the website, the newsletter, stay engaged, Facebook, Instagram, on all those platforms to stay informed of what is happening in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have a report from Commissioner Wilkinson.
Okay, I don't have too much to report, but I do want to thank our city planner, Michael Pham, and TSW for putting on a really wonderful presentation in our work session. So if you're watching online or if you're watching sometime in the future, go back, listen to that presentation, and it gives a really wonderful context for a pretty major planning effort that the city is undergoing. And yeah, I just hope everybody's enjoying a really nice spring. It's too nice to be inside right now, so we'll keep it short and keep this ball moving.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have our city manager's report, Mr. Granum.
Good evening, Mayor. Last weekend, we were as prepared as possible for the predicted wind, hail, and rain storm, and our collective readiness paid off. Generally speaking, word got out as the storm approached. I saw neighbors putting away lawn chairs and tending to their personal responsibilities, and city departments were poised to respond if needed. We did get over 3.5 inches of rain in one day, and that's not a trivial event. But our stormwater systems handled it like it was business as usual. As a comparison, we received about 5 inches of rain in one day when the Helene passed directly over. And our stormwaters performed superbly then as well. But let's not get complacent. Flooding is the most costly natural hazard in Hamilton County, according to the Hamilton County Natural Hazards Mitigation Plan, which the city of Red Bank has formally adopted. The simple advice from the American Red Cross is a timeless classic. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Everything else was covered earlier, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Granum. Now we're moving on to our consent agenda. I will briefly describe each item since we did not get to any of these items in our work session, thankfully. Thankful to TSW and Mr. Pham for the wonderful presentation, but it meant that we didn't get to have any discussion on these items yet. So we can still have discussion, or if there is something that you would like to have more in-depth discussion on, we can pull that item out and put it at the end of the agenda. So we'll be in the consent agenda, we'll be voting on consideration of minutes for approval or correction from our March 4th work session and our March 4th regular commission meeting. Resolution 25-1775 to make a purchase of a security camera for our impound lot. Resolution 25-1776, resolution for on-call guardrail services. Resolution 25-1777, a resolution for on-call pavement marking and road striping maintenance services. Resolution number 25-1779, reappointing one member, Megan Furr, and appointing one new member, Monique Klaus, who was here with us earlier in our work session, to start new terms on May 1st. And then finally, Resolution 25-1780, resolution to authorize the purchase of two F-150 Lightning Pro XL pickup trucks for Public Works, costing $98,600, which had previously been budgeted for fiscal year 23. Is that correct, Mr. Tate? Okay, thank you. So with that being said, those are all of our consent agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
I'll move.
Okay. I have a motion from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I have a second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Is there any discussion?
I would, sorry, okay. I would like to discuss item F. I don't know if we can pull it to the regular agenda. I know there's some history there that I think just, flush it out real quick.
Could we maybe hear
Mr.
from-
Stoltz, what would be the best course of action? To pull it out or just have discussion at this time? If I may ask you for your opinion.
My preference would be to pull it out and just drop it to the unfinished businesses.
Okay. Well, Hayes, Commissioner Wilkinson, would you like to pull that out?
I would move to pull that out.
Okay. All right. So we're moving item F to
I'll retract my motion then.
Okay. Yep. We'll move item F to the end of the agenda.
Mayor, may I suggest something?
Sure.
All the department directors were basically teed up in a work session to give a quick pitch on all those, and we can run through that if you'd like to. Even though it's within the construct of the consent agenda, if you'd like to hear some details on all those particular things, we are prepared.
Lot of pulling out.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, just in the context of this discussion, we could go down and just all come up and give our presentation if you want.
I think that defeats the purpose of the consent agenda. In my personal understanding of it, Mr. Stoltz, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we can ask questions. I think if we have questions of those items, but if we want to have more thorough discussion and hear from the staff members, I think probably the most appropriate thing to do would be to pull the item out of the consent agenda. Does anyone?
I have one question, if I
Sure.
may, about B. Is the security installation on Midvale, the impound at Midvale?
Yeah,
Oh,
inside the impound lot itself.
Okay, on Midvale.
Right.
Cool.
Well, it won't be on Midvale, it'll be on our property.
Correct. Okay, thank you. That's it.
For my part, if staff was prepared to give presentations on these, I'd like to hear what they had to say.
Okay, so we're pulling all of the items out of the consent agenda?
I don't think we need to pull the minutes or the appointments to the art committee.
I have to make a motion to close that.
Nope.
No,
Okay, why don't, if you, my fellow commissioners, if you have certain items you would like pulled out, if you could just let me know you would like to speak on that and then recognize you, and then you can pull out whichever items. Okay, Vice Mayor?
so would, which items had staff presentations associated with them?
I'll get it on.
You've got,
The truck.
so I'd like to pull, Chief Seiler, you have a presentation on item B or no?
Isles. Let's deputy.
Sorry,
Isles.
Chief. No, it's Chief Seymour.
Oh.
Seymour, so I'm,
Oh,
Chief Seymour, would you like to present on,
I can speak to it and send it to you, so, yes.
okay, so I'd like to pull that item. And then for Director Tate, item C, D, and F.
So we're gonna keep A and E, move everything else.
Keep, yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
I'll make a motion. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Holmes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any discussion on items A or E? Okay. Any comments by the residents present? If there are no more comments, let's call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, item A, ordinance number 25-1273, an ordinance of the city of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30, 2025 in order to appropriate unbudgeted expenditures and grant funding for the general fund in the amount of $20,000. Second and final reading. Ms. Perry, would you like to give us a quick refresher on that?
It's basically, we had utilized a temporary agency to fill the finance director's position while we recruited for it. Chris Pickle was in the position, applied, and she was our chosen person. In order for them to release her from her contract, we had to pay $20,000. And you approved that previously in a resolution. Sorry, I don't know which one right now. And this is just appropriating the funds into the budget now.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A motion from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? Okay, if there are no more comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries on second and final reading. Moving on to item B, ordinance number 25-1274, an ordinance of the city of Red Bank, Tennessee to amend the Red Bank beer ordinance, ordinance number 23-1228, codified at Title 8, Chapter 2, Section 8-206 et sec in the Red Bank City Code, second and final reading. Mr. Tate.
I am representing Jeffrey Gray.
Thank you.
To introduce this. And as I was trying to refresh myself, I tried all day to revisit this, but this ordinance does not wholesale change the beer ordinance. What it does is it reduces some of the requirements for special events so that vendors that stand before the commission and pledge that they know the contents of our beer ordinance don't have to repeatedly do it from event to event. And so that's what the change to this ordinance is. City sponsored events.
Only in city sponsored events.
Correct. That's right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tate. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'm
Motion
second.
from Commissioner Holmes, second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no more comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries on second and final reading. Moving on to new business, item A, resolution number 25-1778, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, adopting the mission statement, vision statement, and commission goals established at the 4th Annual Commissioners Strategic Planning Retreat on February 25, 2025. Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. So the resolution before you is the outcome of our retreat, which was held earlier in February and conducted by MTAS, Hannah Rogers in particular. It's our 4th annual one. And I took the liberty of translating it into the slideshow, which I love. This is the city at a glance. And that's a beautiful picture right there. And this is our mission as it's presented now coming out of the retreat. The city of Red Bank is a safe and thriving small town community with an engaging, transparent government that builds on our rich history, provides excellent and efficient services, and welcomes all. And it's my recollection that that actually is not a change. The vision from the fourth commission retreat, I'm not quite sure why it still says third, but has the right date there. This is slightly changed. Red Bank strives for a vibrant, growing, and inclusive community by pursuing excellence, enhancing safety, celebrating our neighborhood character, and stewarding our natural landscapes. And that latter part is the change. And then we have 5 fresh goals, and they are develop a new land conversion agreement with TDEC and NPS, and that's Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation and National Park Service. And in this commission retreat, identified commission champions for each of those goals, and it is Mayor Bell. The second one, create priorities for safe streets, curtailing speeding, enhancing pedestrian walkability, and protected cycling routes. Now, I want to elaborate here just a little bit. In Hannah's report, as the retreat concluded, there was a different commissioner associated with that one. But after we got the draft report and we started circulating it amongst staff, I took the liberty as city manager of communicating directly with some of the commissioners involved and suggesting that we reallocate some of those goals. And so the resolution before you does not match up 100% with Hannah's report, but I did confirm with each of the impacted commissioners that they were acceptable. So, and of course, at the end of the day, the resolution is yours to refine tonight. That is the staff draft resolution reflects Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey having that goal. Launch strategic economic development efforts to attract investment, support local businesses, and strengthen community prosperity. The champion is Commissioner Holmes. Also on that one, the language is slightly different from what was originally in the report coming out of the retreat. And this was staff reviewed the actual language and suggested this as a better statement for that economic development. This lines up more with state language in this area and potentially with grants. So that's why staff is recommending this particular language for that goal. Implementation of the Parks Master Plan, Commissioner Wilkinson. Low-cost activation of city property by making, sorry about that, it just keeps doing its thing. Improvements, i.e. tables, gardens, etc. Vice Mayor Berry. This is another one that was reassigned. So I'm grateful to all the commissioners championing one goal each. And what this really does is that we're entering the budget process so that the staff will try to come up with 3 to 5 specific objectives under these goals. And by assigning a commissioner to it, it allows staff to really engage with that commissioner directly in a way that we typically don't. We typically share everything evenly across all 5 commissioners, but because we have these goal assignments, we are allowed to actually invest in one commissioner in particular along that goal. So that's really the effect of this. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Granum. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Vice Mayor Berry. Any discussion?
Big thank you to Hannah Rogers once again for hosting our workshop and MTAS. It's an amazing resource.
Yes. She's always a great facilitator. Okay. Any comments from the residents present? There are no more comments. We'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item B, resolution number 25-1775, a resolution by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing a 3-year subscription with Skycop Inc. for installation, use, and maintenance of a security camera for the impound lot, not to exceed the amount of $3,300 annually. Chief Seymour.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So this is really a partnership between Public Works and the police department. So we have property on the impound lot, and so we've had some occasional break-ins and all. So really what this is instead of purchasing a security camera and us owning it and the warranty running out for a year, They're asking for a 3-year agreement. They really own it. And so basically we're, absence of other words, kind of renting or leasing that. So really it's a security camera, and so it'll be used on solar power, well, not solar power, but we'll be plugging into the pole there. But it's for it's a 3-year agreement for that. So.
Okay.
And yes, it's you look at it, so it's reoccurring fee. It's a heavy duty. We've looked at some others and looked at traditional security cameras, but these tend to be outdoor and in the elements. We're going to heavy duty on that. And it won't be coming out of the general fund. We have an impound fund, so it kind of help cover and recoup. Use that fund for like expenses for upkeep on that impound lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A motion from Vice Mayor Berry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second
She's
from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? Okay, if there are no comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item C, resolution number 25-1776, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing an on-call service agreement with Cadence Consulting LLC, doing business as Cadence Site Work for on-call guardrail installation and maintenance services for the Public Works Department. Director Tate.
Thank you, Mayor. And as I mentioned earlier, what I'm about to describe actually pertains to the following resolution as well for on-call services for pavement striping and road marking. From time to time, the City of Red Bank Public Works Department has a need to hire contractors to perform guardrail installation and maintenance, and also pavement marking and road striping. We published an RFQ in January seeking such services that were available, having none in our area that can perform the level of work that we require. The closest being Nashville, Knoxville, Bledsoe County, Western North Carolina, and the Marietta, Atlanta, Georgia area that we have to call for these services because there's nobody in Chattanooga that can perform large-scale striping or guardrail installation. Until we found Cadence Site Work, who just moved into 5210 Day Boulevard. And they're a full-service company, and they quoted us some prices for guardrail installation that were comparable to what we've paid in the past. And then the same thing that we did with it's in your packet for volunteer striping, volunteer highway supply, and superior striping and pavement marking for those services. We published the RFQ. We took sealed bids, followed the procurement laws. Those records are available for public consumption if they request. And what we're asking for in Resolution 1776 is for the commission to allow us to enter into an agreement with Cadence Site Work for guardrail maintenance and installation. And as hopefully, everyone recalls, back last year during the budget process, we set aside a large amount of money for guardrail repairs. And Ricky Reeves, the street department supervisor, has contacted some companies and asked for quotes, and they're just not responsive. But these companies, Cadence Site Work being here in town, they have been anything but non-responsive. They call me or email me on regular basis. And then all of a sudden, the two striping companies, Superior and Volunteer, that we frequently call about every other year to come and do, $25,000 to $30,000 of striping. Last year, they did $82,000 worth of striping in Red Bank. And all of a sudden, they have expressed a renewed interest in doing business, whereas before it was just on their schedule and when they could come. So hopefully this will alleviate that and the staff labor and time involved with procurement. By allowing us to enter into these agreements, staff can now prepare a scope of work or a work order to send to these companies, review the price, and we can come to the commission and request to spend the money that we budgeted for these services from year to year.
Thank you, Director Tate. Make just everything much more efficient.
Yes.
Save you guys a lot of time. Okay, great. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Holmes. Any further discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner?
It's interesting that they're in Red Bank. How did you learn about their presence in Red Bank?
They submitted a packet and they showed up the day of the bid opening because that's a public event.
Yeah.
And this guy shows up and says, we're here from Cadence Site Work. Never heard of him until that day. And, there's some promising work there that, it's not just guardrail. There's other services that they could do if we were so inclined to use them.
So where's 5210 Dayton Boulevard?
It's the old Diamond Building Supply, the
Mhm.
Meeks property on the north end.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have totally redone
Yes,
it and
they
it
have.
looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks
Okay.
really good. It looks really nice.
But till that day, we had no idea they were in town.
Well, how unexpected to have the opportunity to do that type of business with a Red Bank,
Yes.
a registered brick and mortar.
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions or comments?
Do we anticipate any work anytime soon? I know there was some ill-repaired looking guardrails around.
Yes, ma'am. We hope to. I don't know that we'll get all of it done, but all of the guardrail repair money comes out of the State Street Aid Fund, so it's there from year to year. So what we don't use this year will still be in the fund balance from year to year. So at this point, we'll be able, instead of having to budget large, we can pick and choose what we decide to repair until we're satisfied.
Because that money's already been budgeted and it's out of state street aid, if I recall correctly, it would only need to come back before this commission if the individual item was over 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Any comments from the residents present? Okay, there are no comments. We'll call the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to item D, resolution number 25-1777, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing an on-call service agreement for on-call pavement marking and road striping maintenance services with Superior Pavement Markings, Inc. and Volunteer Highway Supply Company, Inc. for the Public Works Department. Director Tate just spoke on that with us. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A motion from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Hayes Wilkinson. Do I have, is there any further discussion? I'm sorry. No? Nope. Any comments from the residents present? Okay, if there's no comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And to our final item of business, of new business, item F, resolution number 25-1780, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, authorizing the purchase of two F-150 Lightning Pro XL pickup trucks for a total cost of $98,600, which includes complete upfitting with warning lights and safety racks from Lonnie Cobb Ford of Henderson, Tennessee, under a Tennessee statewide contract for the Red Bank Public Works Street Division. Director Tate.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, Commissioners, third time's charm. On October the 5th, 2022, the City Commission approved the purchase of one Ford Lightning EV truck for the Public Works Department as part of the FY23 budget. A PO was pulled and an order placed through the National Auto Fleet Group acting on behalf of the Sourcewell Cooperative Program. That was done on October 7th of 22. After months of inactivity, the PO was rolled over into the FY 2024 budget. After 9 months, the requisition was still listed as scheduled and had still not gone into production by July of 2023. At that point, I effectively canceled the order due to inactivity and proceeded to place an order, if you remember this, for 3 Maverick hybrid trucks, as opposed to the one Lightning. The commission approved that as part of the 2024 operating budget, and on August the 22nd of 2023, the Maverick trucks were placed on order and in a scheduled status and remain so until February 20th of this year. At which point, the National Auto Fleet Group, acting on behalf of Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing, informed me that Ford Motor Company had balanced their production schedule as they prepared to restart production of the Ford Maverick truck line, which was supposed to take place in late March or early April this year. But in doing so, they canceled the City of Red Bank's order. So this abolished any hope that the City of Red Bank would receive any vehicles this budget year After researching further with Fleet Manager Randy Bell, we looked into the statewide contract used by our own police department, who goes through a statewide contract for police vehicles through Lonnie Cobb Ford, and they have excellent prices. And after representatives from Lonnie Cobb Ford's fleet program, in speaking with Randy Bell, they feel confident that if the city can produce a PO and an order before April 1st, they may, no guarantees, but they may be able to slide those into this year's production and possibly schedule delivery before June 30th. But again, there's no guarantees because we're at the will of Ford. And with the commission's approval, this resolution is asking us to substitute the purchase authorization of the 3 hybrid vehicles for the 2 EV trucks remaining for the remaining time of this current fiscal year. Now, what we're getting with Lonnie Cobb Ford, we're getting 2 EVs that are fully outfitted. They have a headache rack. It's the metal bracket that goes up behind the cab to keep running stuff through the glass. And they have a full suite of strobe lights already built in. And the Lonnie Cobb Ford price with those accessories included is still cheaper than the National Auto Fleet Group price of just buying 1 truck. So we're getting a little bit more for our money by going through the statewide contract. But that's what this resolution is about. And the commission approved in the commission approved in 23, $106,996 for 3 Maverick hybrids that was canceled. And then in 22, it was 1 Ford Lightning was $47,796 before upfitting, which the upfitting would have been about another $3,000, somewhere thereabouts. So we're going to try this again, and I've been in talk with Dr. Chin, who might be able to provide us a rapid charger that we can put at the Public Works facility without having to do any major electrical upgrades. Justin Hendrick said that he can get it wired into the power that's there because we're on 3-phase power, and he can get it wired in with no complications or not very much additional charge. And then those 2 trucks can be charged at lunch breaks, in the 20 to 30 minute cycle. So that's what we're looking to achieve with this and start electrifying our fleet.
Excellent. Thank you, Director Tate. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
The motion from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Any further discussion?
I had a question.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have an estimate of the gas it will save? I'm interested in electrical vehicles. Is it
Well, I didn't exactly calculate that, but I would say probably for what I intend to use those for, I would probably think $1,800 to $1,200 a year, possibly. But more importantly, the emissions, because one of the trucks is going to purposely be used on the street. You see the guys out cutting the grass. They have to leave the truck running now so that the lights will work. This will eliminate that. And so we'll be able to pull those trucks up to the work site, put the lights on, and let them sit till they come back to the shop.
There's a lot of factors in electric that make them positive.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And does the city get some of the funds that these trucks use, like out here?
Well, yes, the EV chargers out here,
Yes.
the city gets all of the money that those generate, except for a 10% surcharge that goes to the charge point
Okay.
company.
Yeah.
They charge us 10% for handling the account, and then they send monthly, they send a revenue check or a revenue deposit to
And
the
that
city.
would be the same. with-
Well, this one here would not be open to the public just yet.
Okay, just for the city.
Just for the city, and it's a kind of a stopgap measure to our bigger plan to put in a bank of charging stations when we build our new public works facility.
Okay.
And this will be a rapid charger because it will be one. It'll be a rapid charger so we can plug up and quickly charge. Once we build our new facility, we'll consider putting in type 2 chargers so the trucks can sit and charge overnight in a sequence. When this one finishes, this one starts.
Right.
Till they all stay charged.
So there's no plan to put in a overnight charger at the Public Works facility currently for these vehicles yet?
No, ma'am, not.
Just the
not
fast
for-
charger?
Right, because I've got other plans to purchase more electric vehicles in the next year or two. And if one of those becomes like a staff vehicle for city hall use, then it would be one that somebody could take up. You know, Kate goes up there 2 or 3 times a week. She could take it up there and charge it for 20 or 30 minutes, because most of the rapid chargers now, I think, are 30 to 40-minute charging times. And she would be able to keep that. And it would just keep the city balanced and give us the means to charge our own vehicles until we get more permanent infrastructure.
Right. Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Director Tate. Any comments from the residents present? Okay, there are no comments. We'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now at the time for citizen comments from Red Bank citizens on items not on the agenda. Mr. Granum.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate a timer visible on the dais. Please respect her direction and conclude any comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner, the city staff, or the audience. The commission is here to listen, not to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during citizen comment. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium. Please begin by stating your name and address.
Okay, we have no resident comments. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
I have a motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I hear a second from Vice Mayor Barry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.